Welcome back to Cottage Designs by Erin, where the canning season quilt is finished. So here's our completed project with that. A guild member is going to quilt this for me, and she's also going to bind it. So I'm going to have it professionally done. When I get it back, I will show it to you. It won't be for quite a while. So today what I want to talk to you about is how to make a sampler quilt out of 10.5-inch blocks. And I wish I could take credit for this idea, but it's actually not my idea. My quilt guild issued a large piece of fabric, I believe it's by Moda, that looks like this. And the challenge was that you had to add other colors to it, staying in the red, gold, and green range. And you had to make as many 10.5-inch blocks as you possibly could. Or if you had time, you can only make one block. So then what's going to happen is all the guild members, there's about 25 or 30 of us, will bring their blocks to the meeting, and those blocks will be sewn into a big quilt, and that quilt will then be raffled off to raise money for Quilt Guild. So I'm going to talk to you about how I made my sampler blocks. I made them all this morning, so it went lickety-split really quickly. So let me show you what I did. I used a 6-inch OmniGrid square. If you do not have OmniGrid templates, you can make your own template using a flattened cereal or cracker box and cut out a 6-inch square. All right, so let me move the camera to my hands now. Once you cut out a 6-inch square, it's going to look like this. So that would be your first, and I can show you, 10.5-inch, get on the seam there, 10.5-inch block, okay? Then you can take these 6-inch squares and you can cut them in half on the diagonal. Let's see if I thought I had one left over here. And that will give you a half square triangle. If you go and you sew your half square triangles together, you can then make a pinwheel block, which is also 10.5 by 10.5. All right, using that same method, cutting a 6-inch square, you can then cut it out of 3 different prints, and you can do this design. And you could, of course, put any color in the middle. You could put the print in the middle, put the solids on the outside. I tried that. I tried the print in the middle and the solids on the outside, but I wasn't happy with that. Okay, so that will give you this block. You can then go down to a 4-inch square. I'm not sure where I put that at. Using this OmniGrid, you can do this 4-inch block and sew that together and add a border to give you your 10.5-inch square. Next, you can take this 4-inch block and you can cut it on the diagonal and make pinwheels out of it and add borders to get it the 10.5-inch size that you need. So it did take me several hours this morning to make this, but I mean, I just need one more block to make a lap quilt. So I made 5 blocks, so I would need one more to make a lap quilt, and it would all be done. So again, you're going to start off with the 6-inch block. Cut 4 6-inch blocks and you get this. Cut these on the diagonal and you get a pinwheel. Stay with the 6-inch block and cut them on the diagonal, and then you get this. Okay, then I got off of that and I went to the 4-inch square, and I started off easy peasy making the 4-inch block and adding the borders, and then I cut those 4-inch blocks in half and made pinwheels and added borders to get the 10.5-inch square. So I just thought this was worth sharing because honestly, it would have never occurred to me if I didn't have to do it. So since I came up with I was given the challenge to make the blocks, this was the easiest way to go about it. And the finished results are very, very eye-catching, I think. And so we were told to stay in the green and burgundy range, green, gold, and burgundy range, in order to show some consistency in the blocks, even though not everyone in Guild will be using the same fabrics. So I hope you learned something from this video. Stop back by. I have more. Thank you. Oh, please like and subscribe.